Welcome to Good Morning DRC, where we bring you news and information about what is happening in Africa. We believe in strong Africa. We believe in democracy. We believe in all that will help this continent of ours rise again and become a great continent. And this is why we endeavor to bring you information that will help you understand the situation and also just help you so you can be informed to make good decisions. And in order for us to continue to do what we do, let me ask you to do us a favor. Please do subscribe to this channel and pass on this channel or link to other people and give us thumbs up and let us know what you think so we can obviously bring you more good content in coming days. Today I want to talk about what is happening in the US. And I'll tell you why, even though we're talking about Africa here, but what is happening in the US tells us something that we as Africans need to have in mind. We know that President Trump surrendered himself to the police or to the justice. After he was indicted, we know that he and other people who were found guilty surrendered themselves. And I asked myself a question. If Trump, the former president, was indicted and he is also running for presidential elections, but he's indicted. Now, I'm not saying that what has happened is a good thing or that his enemies don't have anything to do with this, but what I want you to see is that there is no one that is above the law. The law is for everyone. But what we do see in Africa is a different story. In certain African countries, in our way of thinking, we think that there are men and women that are above the law. They can do and get away with certain things just simply by virtue of the fact that they have held a higher position in a country, in a nation, especially in the French or in the French-speaking countries. Now, one that I have in mind is in the DRC, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, we see a lot of things that is unfolding, and then we can actually see that this is something that is bad. And this person or that person should be brought before the court. And if they're brought before the court, they are sentenced, and therefore they must do prison time or otherwise pay some other ways because they have been indicted. But this is not the case of what we see in Africa. In many countries, we see strong men rather than strong institution. And this is bad. For governors, good governors must always ensure that people don't get away with wrongdoing. There must always be the law that will stand against any person, any individual, whoever they may be. They must be accountable to the justice. So justice is served to anyone and everybody because we're all equal. I know people hold different offices and different positions in life, but we should never forget that we're all equal citizens. And therefore, if the citizens can feel like they are the only people that have to pay the price for wrongdoing and that there are other people who are immune to this, this is not a good signal. This is very bad because that will be injustice. And we can see this injustice in many parts of the world, especially in Africa. Yes, there is injustice in other parts of the world, but more of it we see it in Africa, where we see people can actually and easily influence the system, and that is very bad and it's very appalling. In the DRC, we have seen people that have basically done horrible. They have stolen money. They have basically plundered the government and the country, and they have, if you like, protected themselves. They've given themselves immunity that they cannot be judged because they've held a certain office. This is wrong. But you see a former president, and he is also running for elections, but because he was found guilty, he had to surrender himself and his fingerprint was taken, and then in his picture, what they will normally do to criminals is what they've done to him. Yes, I know that he didn't get the full whack of what criminals normally get because he's a former president. Bit of dignity was served on him. But I just want you to know there is no strong man. There shouldn't be any strong man. Wherever in the world you are, there shouldn't be any strong man. I've seen what's happened to Trump, and it should serve other leaders here in Africa. I've seen what's happened to President Sarkozy in France. And this should serve our leaders to know that they are not above the law. We are tired here in Africa. We had enough of people thinking they are the strong men. They cannot be judged. Many of them have killed people, or they have at least caused the death of untold number of people. But they don't want to be judged. And they have some people in parliament who have voted a law of some kind in order to protect them. That is wrong. We don't want to see this happen. Africans should stand up to know that we are fighting for the whole nation. We are not here to protect a family of some kind. We are not here to protect some people because they have a big name, because they've been in power, because they've done this and that. That is wrong. That's not what we want. We want to see Africa rise again. In order for Africa to rise, there must be the rule of law, not the rule of jungle. People have to obey the law from top to the bottom and all the way around the country. We should all know and obey the law. Yeah, so Trump surrendered himself. He was taken into the police custody where he was fingerprint. He had to give his fingerprints, and he had to take a picture of himself. But he did surrender. How many of you know of politicians that will surrender themselves in Africa? The Africa that we're dreaming of tomorrow will be different. The Africa that we want to see tomorrow must be different. And this is one of the reasons why we're saying that we must break away from those who are desperate, for those people who are in power just because they are puppets of the Western countries, who are staying there by strong army, who are being sustained there because of they want to overrule, and everybody else must submit to them simply because they are so-called, strong man, and because they're being supported by the West. This is not the kind of Africa that we want. Would you want that? Just know and understand that Trump did surrender himself. He was released, of course, but he did surrender himself. And we want to see that kind of thing happen here in the nations around Africa. Sarkozy, yes, he was brought criminal charges, and then he was sentenced, and he's serving his time. And this is what we're supposed to know. This is what we're supposed to know, that we must bring such things in Africa as well. I want to see all the leaders that have basically killed people or has instigated some kind of if you like, ethnic cleansing, or had killed people to get into power. There shouldn't be. If you kill people, you can't come into power. These things must change. I'm sorry if I'm ranting like this, but it's because we've had enough of these kind of things happening, that they are strong men. The days of strong men must come to an end. Everybody is equal before the law. If I'm going to be judged, then yes, my next door neighbor, even though he's prime minister, if he steals money, he must be judged. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel and pass on to other people. Give us thumbs up and let us know your comments so we can bring you more content. Till next time, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.